In this video, we're going to go hunt the Trestles, which turned out to be a pretty cool drive. Not too hard to get to and a lot of fun. After that, we're going to go find some place to eat and also do a little exploring, or at least a drive through Ashland RV Resort. So, hope you enjoy. Okay, it's time to head out, and we're going to head toward the Train Trestles near Ashland. So we'll see what we can find along the way. This is during the week, so the hot dog stand won't be open yet, but good to know where it's at so we can plan it for later in the week. For when we hit the weekend, we can go grab us some chili dogs, some chili cheese dogs. This is the Pocahontas Trail system, and for the most part, these roads are really well groomed and easy trails to ride through. Thought I'd give you a little bit of the drive to get to the hot dog stand, and so you can see what that looks like. Even on a day when they're not serving hot dogs, you really can't miss it if you hit the right trail. They've got it well marked. And this is a weekday, so they got enough signs out there that if you drive past and don't see this, you're not trying. I will say we did go here on the weekend for chili cheese dogs and chips, and it's a happening place. There's a music, and it was fun. I did another video that has that in there if you're interested. But it was, I mean, they're chili dogs, but it was a fun stop. And this is during the week, so it's not very busy, but on the weekends it can get really busy, so make sure you know your hand signal. And you can get to the Trestles if you go up the road and come up from Crumpler Road up to Ashland and then turn off past that. But since we're staying down at Buffalo Trails in Bluewell, we're going up the back way and coming in the opposite direction. So I didn't list the trails here. I guess I could do that. I'll do a map and show you how we got there. We come up Lorton Lick Road, which comes from Buffalo Trail, and then we went up. We went through some of the trails and then got back on the road. It's highlighted in yellow, and we followed around. It's marked as Trestle 2 on here. I thought it was Trestle 1, but that's the one we went to, and then we turned around and went down to Ashland on Crumpler Road, as the yellow shows. So that's how we went, in case you're interested. This is as we're just getting on the road of Lorton, getting to Lorton Lick Road to continue on our journey to find the trestle. I did cut out most of the road riding just because I don't think that's that interesting. But I did leave in the towns because I thought those were fascinating, and I loved riding through them and looking at the area and seeing the old buildings and the old barns and all. So I left those in so that you could kind of follow the route if you were interested. I did leave this road in because it was just such a pretty drive. I just love seeing the colors, and part of the reason we do this is so we can look back and have some edited versions so I don't have to look through hours and hours of footage, because I have probably 6 hours worth of videos on this, and the odds of us ever watching all that is pretty slim. But if I have an edited down version, we can go back and use them as our home movies. So it's a fun way for us to reminisce, and I loved this drive, so I wanted to leave it in. And as the editor and the navigator, I also edited out all my wrong turns that we took along the way, because yeah, it does happen that even though I'm used to navigating, you get on here and I'm watching the scenery and I forget to watch the map, and occasionally we get off trail, so I edited those out so you wouldn't have all the wrong turns that we took. So coming up is where we turn. Here's the original map I showed you of the route we're taking in yellow. And we've still followed that. The dark blue line you'll see is the one that I say in a few minutes is a little bit too sketchy for us by ourselves. Here's the zoomed in version. This is where we turned. We went down what's highlighted in yellow, but if you see the blue there right after the trail, we were going to take that one, and that just looked a little bit too rough for just the two of us by ourselves. So this is where we're at and the route we're taking and where we turn off at. The blue trail is where I say, nope, not happening. I will say this was a fun drive. It's a really easy drive, especially up to this point. There wasn't quite a bit of road riding, and it did take probably an hour and a half or so to get here. But we stopped around and talked to people and goofed off quite a bit too. So, but it's a fun drive and pretty easy to get to. Yep, and that would be a nope. We are by ourselves, and there's another way that looks easier. On the video, it doesn't look very far, but that's about a 2.5, 3 foot drop, and we are by ourselves. If we break something, we're toast. So we're going to pick an easier route just in case. And we don't know how much rougher it gets past that spot. So better to err on the side of caution, especially when you're traveling by yourself. Don't overcommit to something that you're not prepared to complete. And it's not so much your skill level. That is part of it, and your machine's capabilities. But when you're traveling by yourself, and we go all over the country and ride in, a lot of wonderful places. But it's the same everywhere. You don't want to ride trails outside your skill level, but you also especially want to take extra precautions when you are by yourself, because if your machine breaks, there's just, you don't have a lot of resources to get back on the road. And from a safety standpoint, you just want to be extra cautious when you are traveling and riding these trails or any trails by yourself. So we are very aware of that, and we do take into consideration that. It's different if you have 3 or 4 people with you. You can take a little bit rougher trails and take a little bit more risk with your machine. But when you're riding by yourself and you don't really have a resource to come get you, I do not want to have to walk back to camp. And so we're gonna always err on the side of caution. This road is a little rough, but not anything too bad. It's just a little bit of rocks and a little rough. So it's a fun ride. We're going to hit Trestle 1, and then we'll decide if we go on to 2 and 3. And you will notice that we actively avoid any mud puddles that we can. That's because we're from Florida originally, and we've done our fair share of mud, and we know what mud is. And getting stuck and getting nasty just isn't our thing. So if there's no way around it, we'll go through it. But we prefer to higher and drier land. So with that said, of course, the road then turned into a muddy mess. So yay! I will say here the difference is there's a rock face, so it doesn't get, deep mud like what we're used to in Florida, where, a whole might look like a little water puddle and be 5 foot deep. So it wasn't quite as bad, but like I said, we've done our fair share of mudding over the years. Overall, this is a pretty easy road. I mean, there's some water puddles and some rocks, but it's a little bumpy, but, pretty simple, easy road to get on. It had rained a few days before, obviously, so we're getting a lot of water that you probably don't normally get. But it's a very easy road to traverse. And as I said, we're from Florida. And in Florida, when there's a bypass, you usually want to take it because that's less deep. But here we find that sometimes the bypasses are where people get out and play in the mud and make a muddy mess. So just going straight on through it's easier than fighting the mud hole somebody else left.
I don't think about it. About you leaving me.
And eventually this came up to an open area where we could get some views, and looks like people have been playing on the sides some. Like I said, with us by ourselves, we're not going to do any of the crazy up and down things, and but you can see where other people have been playing up and down the hills there.
I don't know who I'd be.
This was our let's look and see what these trails look like, if they look like they've been well traveled, if they're rough, and then we'll decide which road we're going to take. This one didn't look like anyone had been down it. The other one was pretty steep down, and so we're going to take Route C and head on towards the Trestle.
Broken leaves. I don't think about it. Do you think of me? Walking out that door. Never hearing me talk to myself in the morning anymore. Would it all just turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn? You don't think about it. Maybe it scares you like it scares me. What do we do?
And here is the turnoff to Trestle 1, as you can see it up ahead. It's a little rough, but not a big deal to get to.
With all the possibilities, doesn't it scare you like it scares me? What do we do with all the possibilities? We don't think about it.
I gotta say, this was a fun sight to see. It took me a little while to figure out the right path. I was using Lifetime maps, and it took a little bit to figure out exactly where it was, but well worth the trouble.
Think about it. We just fall into each other's arms, and we laugh and we cry, we dry each other's eyes, but we don't talk about it.
And just like that, there's the trestle. So it was a fun stop. Of course, we hung out a little bit and took some photos and wandered around, but then it was time to hit the road again and see what we could find next. We decided not to go to the other trestles, but to head on to Civilization and find some food along the way and maybe check out Ashland RV Park while we were out this way. So that's where we're headed now. And along the way, we found the Ashland Company store, which turned out to be a great place for lunch. We're going to run on down to Ashland, see that, and then come back and have us a nice lunch. One thing to note if you're going to Ashland Resort, this is to the right is their new check-in station and restaurant, and I'm not sure what else, but there's a sign up here, and it is pointing to that road, but it looks like it's pointing to go straight. Ashland Resort is to the left, the check-in is to the right, and straight ahead takes you a whole nother area. So right there, a sharp turn right would take you to the check-in, and left there takes you into Ashland. We stopped here trying to figure out their sign. So of course we went the wrong way, and then we came back. To the left would have been the check-in, and to the right is the Ashland Resort. So we'll do a little drive through here, and then we're going to go find lunch. I know Ashland is a really popular resort, and I've read lots and lots of reviews about people staying in Ashland, and I think Ashland has a lot of great features. One of them, probably the main one, is being the proximity to the trails. For us, the reason I did not book with Ashland is the turn off of 52 onto the road to go up to Ashland Resort requires like a U-turn, and our camper just flat doesn't turn that sharp. We would have had to have went on past it and turned around and came back, and then going up Crumpler Road and all in our rig. I know there's a lot of big rigs that go here, and you certainly could make it work, and we certainly could have made it, but it would have been a lot of work to get the camper up there, and a long road. So we stayed at Buffalo Trails instead. I will say that one, it is a steep drive up, and the sights are tight. So, I think next time we'll probably look at Mud Pit. It's closer to the Pocahontas Trail and the corner store, which is pretty nice little ice cream shop and restaurant. And this is closer. This is right on the Indian Ridge and the other trail. And it's a great area, but we can get to it from that side and with an easier drive for us to get parked. So while you see the big rigs here, so you certainly can make it. There was even a Renegade like similar to ours there but yeah, it's just a little too hard to go up the Crumpler Road for us. And like I said, we would have been coming from the direction which would have made us U-turn to get onto the road to head up there, and just wasn't worth it for us. But I will say they're nice big sites, and there's more space in between these sites than there are at a lot of the other campgrounds. So I see why it's popular, and I certainly understand why people like staying there. I just, while we could do it, I'm not sure that we would make the drive that far for us. I think we'd be more comfortable staying at Mud Pit or somewhere like that, and then just drive the trails to get in that area. And that is your drive through Ashland RV Resort. So give you an idea of the area. And like I said, it looks like a really nice resort. I certainly can see why people like it. So it's a pretty resort. Now for lunch. And since this video is getting pretty long, this is going to end our trip here. I've got some others coming out on Hatfield and McCoy's and on some of the other places we're going. We're going to Royal Blue next, and then we're going to take the side-by-side to Pigeon Forge in Tennessee and do some Smoky Mountains riding. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the good stuff, and thanks for watching.